Coach, what did you think you saw from Will today, and especially late in the ball game, run 2-point conversion?
Yeah, the 2-point conversion, we should have put it in, obviously. But I just think that sometimes he plays as good as he's coached. So, I just think that sometimes we get conservative on the underneath stuff, and I think that there's times you got to challenge the defense a little more, and then of course statistically, you'd think it was a big score in our favor compared to a little score, but statistics don't count for anything. They played smarter than we did. Memphis did. We made one dumb, glaring mistake after the next and couldn't overcome them. And we just got to be a consistent team, and right now we're not. And these guys thrive on people coming in here and pounding on them, and they've been doing it for a long time. And I don't think we effectively conveyed that. We tried to, but we didn't effectively convey that. And that's got to happen, And so, I don't know. I think Memphis played more mature than we did. I think that, which I don't even know exactly what that means, but they were more advanced than we were. And then, something would go good for us. We'd try to press. And something would go bad for us. We want to pout. I may have to reduce more seats on the sideline. I haven't figured out. But, we got to be a little more engaged in that, have the discipline to, tough teams have the discipline to just focus one play at a time. We focus in spurts, and we're explosive when we focus in spurts. And then when, if the ball bounces funny or whatever, or the other team plays smarter than you do, then it's going to blow up on you. And that's what happened. You got one deal after the next, So, yeah, we got to play better.
What was the explanation you had on the punt return?
On what?
On the punt return, they called illegal touching and they ran back for the touchdown.
Well, we got to. The ball's live. Just because you touch it, usually they whistle it,
But
we got to pick it up and hand it to the ref.
The ref was motioning for the play was dead. Did they give you any kind of explanation for that?
No, they didn't. They didn't.
I know.
Did they call the play dead?
The guy right behind the play was motioning the play. I don't know if he whistled, but he was motioning for it.
So he did call the play dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you waved it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to look at that on film, and maybe some others will too.
I know you mentioned after the Louisiana Tech game, just kind of your guys lit it up a little bit after getting that 14-0 lead. Do you kind of think there was a little bit of that again today after you guys built the lead?
I think there kind of was really on all three sides, and then the other thing is I think that we make judgments on our schedule, and we look at it and we think, how much effort we have to expend in order to beat certain teams, and it's one stupid judgment after the next, because I think we need to, rather than worry about patting ourselves on the back and think about how easy something's going to be, we need to focus on how good we can be if we fully invest and focus one play at a time.
Coach, speaking of the schedule, next week starts SEC play. What's going to be a big point of emphasis for you this week going into LSU?
Improve.
Steve, you get the big pick right at the beginning of the second half, and you get down there close, and I know you don't like to kick there, and I know the touchdown probably puts the game away, but kind of take us through your thought process there going forward rather than kicking the field goal.
I thought we could get it. Still believe we would have got it, except we just rolled the snap back. How the hell you roll a snap back, We've had, let's see how many plays we had. We had 83 plays, and of those we had 82 good snaps. I don't know why the hell we wouldn't have a good snap on that one,
John?
What you see kind of defensively in that second half? What do you think Memphis started to do that made?
Keep in mind, if we roll the snap back on the field goal, we're not making that either. What's that?
Defensively, what do you think Memphis did that kind of made it a little difficult for your guys in that second half?
Sat and watched us because we had a curious way of executing two plays, but then not the third, or executing one play and then getting a really stupid penalty. And then, you know, they just sat and watched us self-destruct, you know. I mean, the defense doesn't have to stop very much unless an offense executes something. You know, right now we're eager guys that are sporadic and excited to practice, excited to make plays, very easily discouraged, want to feel sorry for ourselves, want to create all kinds of scenarios and contexts in our mind, which is just clutter. Well, we have to quit doing that.
It seemed like as the game went on, they were able to get some more pressure on Will, and you guys picked up some penalties on the offensive line. I mean, how would you assess that unit's performance as the game went on here?
I didn't think they got that much pressure. I thought we got penalties, and I'm curious to see how they looked. You know, they did sometimes, which everybody's going to sometimes. I think they played like all the rest of us, you know. I mean, you know, and then we had guys that would just, key players that would just go invisible. All of a sudden they're invisible. Well, this doesn't matter so much. I'll let the other guy get it. I mean, no, just all this, you know, baby high school stuff. We got to get it out of them as coaches, so.
Coach, J.J. Jernigan was playing even before Marks went out. You know, what has he done maybe to earn some more playing time?
He does some good things in practice. I don't think he's there yet, but he does some good things. I think he's going to have a really good future. And, you know, heck, he might beat those guys out. You know, I mean, based on what I saw today, I don't see any reason to not play Jernigan. I mean, why wouldn't you play Jernigan? I mean, if you saw the same game I did, how does it hurt you to play Jernigan, you know? So.
You've obviously been doing this for a while, and I'm sure there have been a bunch of tough losses along the way like this one. What do you kind of tell your guys in the locker room after that to kind of boost morale?
I always try to be really honest with them, and you know, I'm not necessarily 100%. It depends. I mean, sometimes you try to boost morale. Sometimes morale doesn't need to be boosted. You need to boost something, but it's not always morale that needs to be boosted. And between now and tomorrow, I'm going to figure out what it is that needs to be boosted, and whether I'm right or not, we're going to boost something.
Coach, how do you prevent a team from feeling sorry for themselves when a call goes against them, and all of a sudden there's this, you know, victimization because you had some calls go against the punt return? How do you keep them from kind of going down that path?
I think part of it's experience. I think it's experience, and then the more they play, then you know, the more opportunities you have to hold them accountable for that type of thing. And we got to do the best that we can to create an atmosphere of accountability on that sort of thing. And then the other thing, as we start to develop team leaders, you know, key guys on the team are able to help with that too. And when it's coming from the players and the team, I think that's when it's the most powerful. But, you know, it's got to start with coaches as far as the expectation and, you know, what we demand of them. And then, you know, the more the locker room, you know, that's their personality, that's their identity, then the bigger it gets.
Coach, were there any positives that you could take away from this game?
Well, we outstatted them in every way, but there's just no timing. There's no sense of timing to what we do. It's just erratic. You know, it's just like, it's you know, it's just erratic. Everything we do is erratic. And, you know, so we have to not be erratic. We have to, you know, erratic teams, one, aren't very tough, and they have to, when they're not erratic, they become tough teams.
Sorry to interrupt there, but on that onside kick, when they went for the review and then called a penalty after looking at the review, has that ever happened to you before? What was your kind of assessment on that?
On what now?
The onside kick where they went back to review it, and then they reviewed it, and it was a successful one, but then they called a penalty on your guys. Has that ever happened to you in the past?
Don't even get me started. I mean, I'll have to decide whether I want to spend some money before I get into that very much. But I think that you need to look carefully at it and make your own judgment.
You mentioned after the LA Tech game, kind of just what you guys as coaches feel like you didn't do enough in preparing your team. I mean, do you feel like it's a bit of the same here in terms of the effort level and how you coach them?
Oh, we have good effort. Yeah, I mean, we have good effort. It's just, you know, dumb, erratic effort. We have pretty good effort. And I think that, you know, in spurts, we had really good effort today. I think that, you know, you just have to keep bringing guys along, you know. You just have to, you know, the quickest way is reps. The more reps they get, you know, if you have a senior's worth of reps, I mean, that's the key thing. The trouble is we don't have a time machine, and so we need to manufacture them through film and on the field the best we can.
Hey, Mike,
Last question.
What was the biggest difference maybe with the offense after halftime, those first 5 drives, and when it was clicking? You know, what was the biggest difference between them?
I didn't see much of a difference. There were, I guess, more penalties, but other than that, there really wasn't much difference. I mean, I think it adds up about the same. I don't know. You'll have to do all that.